A very good morning to all the delegates, dignitaries, and colleagues across the globe. I, Dr. Bipin Jithani, and my co-host for this session, Dr. Anju Jithani, welcome you on board for the 7th scientific session of poster presentation of LMHI Global Colloquium 2021. The theme of this scientific session is improving education, practice, and research. And in this particular session, we'll be concentrating on the clinical aspect of repertories. The sub-theme is learning and validating repertories. As we are all aware, repertories are one of the most important tools in the selection of the medicine. Starting from a Master Hahnemann to the most proficient modern repertorial masters, all have given importance to repertory as an important tool for the selection of medicine, for expanding our scope of materia medica, for simplifying the study of materia medica, and at a very subtle level, improving our art of case taking. But one aspect of repertory which has remained largely unexplored has been the concept of validation of repertories. And when I say validation, we mean clinically auditing the rubrics of the repertory, putting into clinical practice to assess the effectiveness of the rubrics which are mentioned in our repertory. In this session, we will be having 7 presenters who will be presenting their observational studies in this respect. They would be giving us an overview of their clinical application of the rubrics of different repertories and assess their clinical effectiveness. Before I go on to invite the presenters for this session, I would first of all like to invite the chair. I welcome on board Dr. Suniti Chugh. Dr. Suniti Chugh is an MD scholar, MD professional from MPK Homeopathic Medical College, Rajasthan. She's been working as research officer in the Ministry of Ayush. She's a well-known name in homeopathy, and she has been instrumental in handling the activities of international cooperation actions of Ministry of Ayush. We welcome you on board, ma'am, and we look forward to a great learning session with you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
So, ma'am, if you have the permission, we can go on with the scientific session.
Yeah, definitely. We should
Right.
move ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. As the first presenter for the day, we have Dr. Tanya Chatterjee, who will be presenting her paper on efficacy of homeopathic medicine in myopia control using Boger-Pointgen's characteristic repertory in a constitutional way. Dr. Tanya is a senior research fellow from Central Council for Research in Homeopathy. I'll hand over the system to Dr. Tanya. Please.
Good morning, sir. Can I share my screen? Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah, sure, Dr.
Good morning, my respected moderators and my fellow delegates. Myself, Dr. Tanya Chatterjee. Currently, I'm working as a senior research fellow under Central Council for Research in Homeopathy. This study, efficacy of homeopathic medicines in myopia, control using Boger-Bonninghausen's characteristics repertory in a constitutional way, was being performed under the guidance of Dr. Anita S. Patel ma'am and under the co-guidance of Mr. Tanmay Chattopadhyay sir and Ms. Hardeep Kaur ma'am. So before going into the topic, I just want to say something about myopia. So if we see what is the myopia and what was the relevance of this topic before choosing it for my study. So myopia or short-sightedness is a kind of refractive error where when the accommodation is at rest and the parallel rays of light which were coming from infinity are just focused in front of the retina. So whenever we just conducting this whole study, we saw there were very less number of the simple myopias, but it was like more seen with the astigmatism cases. So we took those cases as our criteria. So why did I choose this study? Because it has been seen one of the crucial public health problem, more specifically in the urban population of India, and as well as in the rural areas, it's also very prevalent, and it varies as per the country, different age group, and different ethnicity, and it is one of the major cause of the visual impairment in the developed and as well as the developing nations. If we see that about one fourth of the world's population has been estimated to be myopic, and which makes it a very significant topic to be addressed. And if we see the Asian population, the myopia has a prevalence of 70 to 90%, whereas Taiwan reporting alone the prevalence of myopia almost as high as 84%, and that is also among the school going students, that is the 16 to 18 years mostly. And if we see the economic picture, that it was reported in USA alone that the cost behind the correction of the refractive error almost $2 billion per year. But for India, no cost estimate has been, yet published, but it will be appearing as similar as if not higher than the mentioned value. So the aim of my study was to evaluate the efficacy of the homeopathic medicines for curing, reducing, and not allowing to increase the present refractive error of myopia. And the primary objective can be considered as to know the efficacy of the homeopathic medicines for curing, reducing, and not to increase it further, whatever the present refractive error the person is suffering from. And so secondary objective, which I considered, that was to reduce the economic burden in India due to myopia, as I just recently mentioned about the USA picture, and to bring the homeopathy as one of the main line of treatment under the National Program for Control of Blindness to prevent the further medical complications due to myopia. So my study was designed as a prospective, non-randomized, single-blind clinical study. And in this whole study, around 450 patients were being screened from different school, colleges, and the age group which was taken into consideration, that was 7 to 30 years, and a refractive error was considered from minus 0.25 diopter to minus 6 diopter patient with or without astigmatism. And they were first screened in the optometric department of the Bharati Vidyapit Homeopathic Medical College and the optometric department. The optometric experts, which I have mentioned about in my study at the beginning, they screened all the patient, and the dry refraction, dry acceptance, and the visual acuity was being considered into this study. So after consulting to the optometric experts, the patient were being taken into the study, and a thorough case taking was being done. And after that, the case was thoroughly being repetitized, analyzed, and in every part of the study and in every visit, the Likert scale questionnaire was being given to the patient. Proper follow-up was proper consent form was taken from them, and in case of the minors, we take the consent from the parents. So like this way, this study took place, and this total study duration of was 6 months, and the follow-up were being taken in a 1 month gap. And in each and every follow-up, we took the consideration of the optometric evaluation and the Likert scale questionnaire. So in the whole study, out of 40 patients, 32 were female and 8 were male. Though we already enrolled a 50 patient who were like into the following the inclusion criteria, but out of that we took 40 patients because 10 were almost dropped out. And out of this 40 patient, it was seen that we just break the age group into 7 to 12 years, 13 to 18 years, 19 to 24 years, and 25 to 30 years. And the medicines which are being given was natrum muriaticum to 11 patient, phosphorus to 11 patient, arsenicum album to 7 patient, sulfur to 6 patient, calcarea carb to 3 patient, and natrum carbonicum and pulsatilla to 1 patient. And we applied ANOVA test and PRT test. ANOVA test was being applied for the spherical equivalent for separately right and left eye before and after the treatment, and the p-value was 0.0022, and PRT test was applied for before and after the treatment for the Likert scale scoring. So in the whole study, we have seen that mostly we have prescribed the mineral groups medicine after doing proper repertorization, and it has been seen that there was no very significant refractive error we have observed in the whole study. But in the first two age group, that is 19 to 24 years and 25 to 30 years, was a like good result as per the refractive error. But in the following two groups, the refractive error improvement was not that much significant. Maybe the use of the laptops, computers, which worked as a maintaining cause. So it can be concluded that after 6 months of the study, though no significant changes were there in the refractive error, but as per the subjective symptoms and Likert scale scoring, it was quite significant. So in our future aspect, we can consider more about the time if we can like take more about like more something 6 months for the study, for the consideration. It may be hopeful it can work for myopia. And yes, definitely, as because there we have very less number of studies in ophthalmology, so yes, we can take forward this study with the proper consideration of the timing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Tanya, for the presentation. It was a lucid one. So far, we have not got any questions from the delegates regarding your presentation. So if Dr. Suniti ma'am has some suggestions for the presentation, in case she has, otherwise we can go on with the next presentation. So Dr. Suniti ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Taina, it was a nice study, and especially as we see, there's a lot of rise in the cases of number of myopia, especially in the younger age group. And keeping in mind the this pandemic and these lot of usage of screen time of especially the children have increased even for the older age group as well. So this is a very promising study that you have taken up, and we can have a better results and better outcomes could be observed when these such studies are taken up in a larger setting, and this must be taken up with the largest sample size and for the longer duration.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Tanya, for the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Moving ahead, we have our next presenter for the session, Dr. Patel Bijal Jagdish Bhai. Dr. Patel is a student of Dr. V.H. Dave, Homeopathic Medical College, Anand, and she will be taking up the presentation on utility of rubric watch from skin chapter of Nurse Repertory of Hearing's Guiding Symptoms for Materia Medica by Dr. P. Sivaram. Dr. Patel, I welcome you on board and hand over you for the presentation. Dr. Bijal, your presentation has been shared on the screen.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, dear doctors. I would like to here present my study. Many neophytes are not aware about the Curitin group of repertories and they are not using it. So, exploration of this repertory with the organic changes and its exploration of the pathological utility in modern medical era. In present era, skin is very major concern among the people's life. Among the warts are disfiguring entities which makes persons cosmetic inferior. According to homeopathy philosophy, it's an expression of internal miasmatic internal miasm, which should not be suppressed by any local means of. If we go through okay, my topic name was utility of rubric warts from skin chapters of repertory of hearing guiding symptoms of or Materia Medica, augmented a revised edition 10th edition 2017 by Dr. P. Shivaram. If we go to background of this study, repertory of homeopathy Materia Medica by Kelvin Boxner is one among two concordance repertory which we all know. Arrangement of this repertory according to Hahnemannian schema inaugurated of this repertory which is done by Dr. Hahnemann. Develop and perfect this repertory by Herring throughout his work of Materia Medica. Dr. 48 chapters are arranged given in this repertory. Among till 34 chapters, anatomical region of parts and followed by reaction of the body. Same gradation which were used in this repertory, which is given in the guiding symptoms of Armatia medica. This is basic structure which is given in original repertory of NAR repertory. Dr. P. Shivaraman edited and made some changes according to Kantian style and made 34 chapters out of 48 chapters. So this is a basic structure of this repertory. And if we go next, then aims and objective of study is to study clinical utility of rubric wards from NAR repertory, as well as ascertain the usefulness of homeopathic remedies in cases of wards by using eliminating rubric as a from NAR repertories. If we proceed further, materials and methods of this study is experimental and prospective, which was done in three project site in Anand for a period of 12 months. After that, we'll look data collection and data analysis. So randomized selection of the 50 cases were selected. Data collection was done by personal interview method. After that, data analysis was done by using PAT test on the basis of scoring before treatment and after treatment of the VARs. Here, scoring is based on objective scoring methods according to clinical condition of the VARs. Here, objective scoring method is based on size of the VAR, location of the VARs, duration of the VARs appearances, recurrences, history of VARs, pain if present or not, complication of VARs like bleeding if occur or not, or Kovner phenomena present or not, it should be included in this study. If we go further, result, if we focus on the result, then among 50 cases, 11 cases were noted from.
But can you zoom in your slide, please?
Yeah.
This can't be zoomed.
It can't be zoomed, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
It can't be zoomed, ma'am.
Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. If we focused on age group, among 21 to 30 year of age group is major affected by this type of VARs, and 21 to 30 year of age group is mostly affected the VARs, followed by 31 to 40 year. If we talk about the diagnosis of the VAR, then verruca vulgaris is noted in 23 cases out of 50 cases, and followed by verruca filiformis in 8 patients out of 50 cases. If we then look for site of VARs, which is major concern, if then face is major. In face, there is a most common VARs is located in cheeks, beard, and eyelids. Is major prone to affected by VARs. In this study, we look for the eliminating rubrics which frequently used in this study is skin eruption VAR, upper surface rough, whitish and horny. It followed by VARs, skin eruption VAR isolated, and then skin eruption large, hard, black color VARs which were frequently used in this study. If we focus on the medicine which were prescribed in this study frequently were Calcarea austria, followed by sepia, and followed by causticum, which were used frequently in this study. And major concern we focus on the result. Result criteria in major focus on the significant improvement criteria. Then it in out of 13 cases, we may significant improvement, followed by 20 cases moderate improvement, and 15 cases were noted mild improvement, and 2 cases were status quo. Thus, above this all, we conclude that the utility of rubric VARs, utility of eliminating rubric VARs from skin chapter of herring guiding symptoms of Aromatidia medica by Kelvin Popsner is very useful in this present era. I would like to my genuine acknowledgement to my principal, Dr. Leena Dike and Dr. Pankaj C. Dave for their constant encouragement.
Along the course
Thank
of
you,
training,
ma'am.
the subsequent increase in the quality of life scores in all of the cases. Thank you, Dr. Vijay Patel. With this, before we go ahead, we don't have any question answers from the delegates for your session. I request Dr. Suniti ma'am to kindly give suggestions.
Yeah, Dr. Bijal, in your study, you had to only consider the rubric WATS while prescription?
Yeah, ma'am. I took the case truly and on the basis and just eliminating rubric used words only. On that basis, I just give medicine on the objective scoring method.
And you did not consider the other constitutional symptoms?
Yeah, ma'am. I consider as a constitutional symptoms, but I use eliminating rubrics for words prescription only. I'm major concern about the words.
So what were the major remedies you said sepia and other few medicines which came up? I think further studies may be taken up to further validate the efficacy of such.
Yeah, ma'am. It should be validification. It should be because Calcarea ostricum and sepia followed by caustica and thuja were more prescribed medicine and followed by lycopodium in fewer cases. I used so many rare medicine on the basis of frequently eliminating rubric. Example, if there is a great toe, if great words on great toe, so I used only Berberis vulgaris and result will get. Result I obtain result from that.
Okay, it was overall it was a nice study, maybe taken up at a larger scale, larger setting.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay Patel. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So going on with our next presentation, we have here with us Dr. Urvish T. Parmar. Dr. Parmar is a MD scholar from Dr. V.H. Dave Homeopathic Medical College, and he will be talking about the utility of physical generals in the selection of simlimum through essential synthesis. So over to you, Dr. Parmar.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
I am sharing my screen now.
Yeah, please.
Visible now? Is the screen visible?
You're visible.
Okay. Hello everyone. Today's my topic is utility of physical generals through essential synthesis. So basically, this my work is the legacy of Dr. Kent. If you have gone through the Kent's minor writing, there are total 119 cases, and from that, he prescribed only 3 cases on the basis of mental symptoms, while all other cases was prescribed on the totality symptoms and more emphasis on the physical generals. And if anyone have learned or read about Professor Rithelkas, he also uses physical generals for differentiation and confirmation of the simillimum, and his application, the Rithelkas compass, is also using the same phenomena. So I'm not against the use of mental symptoms, but all I want to say is that our purpose of holistic manner of homeopathic treatment can also be achieved with the help of physical generals, especially when the mental symptoms are lacking or weak. And on the other side, we have seen that the interpretation of mental symptoms are also very difficult, especially for the tyros, the beginners, to read in between the lines of the words or to compare the repertorial language to the patient's language is very difficult when we are talking about the mental symptoms. So this can be helpful to judge the holistic manner, even if they are the beginners. And my study will look very basic or very simple. And yes, it is very simple. But I would like to quote here Dr. Frederick Schoens, and his statement was from the after the Liga Congress 2007 in Mexico. He gave the statement that from the last few years, new motto is preparing, and which could be summarized as back to basics. And that was the moment when the idea of the essential synthesis laboratory was born. So someone may ask why only essential synthesis laboratory. So first of all, it is based on Kant's logic, and it is general to particulars. So it is very fitted to my study. And if we look further here, then we can see that all are the information are cut short to reliable, authentic, and verified information by different authors. And on the editions, we are getting another 11,368 edition from the Kant's own handwritten copy, which was stolen. You do all know about the story of third edition of Kant, and another 333 remarks of Kant's copy of Herring's Guiding Materia Medica. So all this information also included in that repertoire. So I have used that repertoire, and my sample size was 50. We have screened 100 cases, and from the simple randomization, we came to 50 cases. I have included the cases which are strong with physical general symptoms, and cases who are only particular symptoms or only clinical symptoms or only pathological journals or only mental journals are excluded from this study. And for the outcomes of those cases, we have used MyMOP score, which is measure your medical outcome profile, and those outcomes were further analyzed by PAT test. So we did all the 50 cases with MyMOP, and we applied PAT test for the final accuracy of my result. We can see here the majority of the cases were fall either in the pediatric age group or early adulthood or late adulthood. Very small amount of cases were in the old age. This may be many factors will be responsible for this condition, either the aging or the other allopathic side or other treatments, which continuously devitalizing or the susceptibility is continuously low in those patients. So they are unable to throw the physical generals very maturely, and also the chronic diseases, because India is hub now for the hypertension and diabetes all. And there are total 64% cases were measured from chronic, and 16% was from acute exacerbation, and 20% was treated, which are acute. And I have verified total 106 rubrics of physical journals from the essential synthesis repertoire, which was verified during my study. And most of these symptoms are appetite, thirst, and desire avoidance. And I have given 23 different remedies in these cases, which are totally based on physical general symptoms. And if we conclude towards the final result, we can see that the difference between T tabulated and T statistical. There is a huge difference between these two conditions, because the tabulated was 2.00 while the T statistic was 13. So this gap itself suggests that this idea of using physical journals in the cases is very significant. So thank you all of from my side. Now, if you have any questions about this.
Thank you, Dr. Parmar. We don't have any questions from you from the delegates. I'll request Dr. Suniti Chug ma'am to kindly enlighten on this.
Yes, Dr. Parmar. In your exclusion criteria, did you have patients excluded who are undergoing treatments or for some other medical, the medical conditions, some modern medicine treatment?
No, ma'am, no. I have not excluded those patients. We have treated simultaneously. And if you have gone through MyMOP's work, then you can understand that there is one section where there is a section where patient also have to mention that if they are wanting to relieve from this those medicines. So we also judge that in MyMOP's work. Okay, before the treatment, how many medicines from the other side was going on, and after the treatments, if there is improvement, there will be cut short in the medicines. So there is also criteria in MyMOP.
What were the major cases, I mean, conditions which were to you took in their study?
Yes, all from functional to pathological, all cases have been seen by me. If we look for functional, then there will be generalized anxiety disorder, allergic asthma, allergic rhinitis, or nocturnal analgesia cases. And if you look at the pathological side, I have also treated the third degree protruded hemorrhoids or the ankylosing spondylosis in the same study.
So taking physical general in consideration is sometimes becomes very important because it's difficult sometimes to extract mental symptoms from the patient, and
Yes, yes.
sometimes it is very difficult to interpret them as well. However, it is also, having said that, I would like to mention that when the patients are taking treatment from other systems or modern medicine, there are definitely some impact on the physical generals,
Yes,
like
yes.
these may be modified, these may be masked. So they taking this thing in background, in that scenario you have to keep this thing in mind, that while taking physical generals, it is very important to analyze whether these symptoms are actually the
Yes,
symptom of the patient, or these have been modified or the masked by the other
yes.
treatment patient is taking. So the pre-treatment patient, the pre-treatment symptoms, that in that case becomes more important to analyze. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I have take the uh, cautious about this thing, and I'm very much following Professor Vithal class, and as he compare the things prior to the treatment or
Right.
originality of the case. I have corrected all these things in my study.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a
Thank
good
you.
study.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Brahma.
Next, we have Dr. Rupal K. Bhatt. Dr. Rupal K. Bhatt is a MD scholar from the Dr. V.H. Dave Homeopathic Medical College. The topic of his presentation is to form the repertory based on H.C. Allen's keynotes and characteristics, and to evaluate its utility in clinical practice. Over to you, Dr. Rupal K. Bhatt.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all LMHI members for giving me this opportunity to share my work that I have done by preparing repertory on Alan Skinner. We all know that after death of Master Hahnemann, whole homeopathic profession was in a great dilemma whether to go with Puritan group of Materia Medica or to go with a clinical group of Materia Medica. But after arrival of Herring guiding symptom, most of them followed the second path, that is clinical Materia Medica. And but we all know that it is having 10 volumes, so it is very difficult to carry and very difficult to read all the all the books, all volumes. So after arrival of Alan Skinner, it formed a connecting link between practitioner and source book. So and Dr. Allen has arranged it in such a way that practically not a sentence or a word has been changed, and he has arranged it according to his own personal experience and his practice. So I was so as we all know that it is very authentic and reliable book, so I was reading it regularly, but uh, somehow I found difficulty in utilizing it in clinical practice. So I started searching for a repertory. So I have gone through three work, first by K.K. Sirkar, second by Dr. H.N. Singh, third by Dr. R.P. Sangar. But I found this work very sorry, I have not shared my screen. Is it like that, sir?
Yeah, you have not
No,
shared.
your screen is not shared.
Okay. I'm sharing it. Okay, ma'am. Now is it now visible, ma'am?
Yeah.
So you can see my poster, right?
Yeah, it's visible now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I have faced difficulties. So I decided to form a repertory purely based on Allen's keynote. So I have indexed all symptoms according to chapters that were needed. Total 24 chapters I have formed. Also, I have formed a remedy relationship chapter, and after proper case taking, I have for in totality of symptom, I have included characteristic symptoms, and for that I have used repertory, newly formed repertory for repertorization. And after I got some group of remedy, then I have differentiated it with the help of other materia medica if needed. Then proper remedy in proper dose and potency I have prescribed and repeated accordingly. After my this literature work, I have studied it. I have utilized it clinically. Total 30 cases were selected after from total 50 cases that I have studied by the help of simple randomization. And for analytical tool, I have used chi-square test for comparing my expected value with observed value. So you can see now here in this table, chi-square test. Calculated chi-square is 43.27 and tabulated chi-square is 42.56. So you can see the difference. So statistically, this proved that the efficacy of this repertory is there. And now you can see that I have used it in all age group and in all phases of disease. So it is useful in all age group and all phases of disease. And I have obtained 50% improvement and 50% cure and 43% improvement, and 7% I have not get result. In this bar diagram, you can see percentage of result in phases of disease. Then you can see that I have used after repertorizing with the help of this newly formed repertory, total 15 remedies I have prescribed in 30 cases. And you can see there's maximum used of physical general chapter, mental general, and ailments from chapter was there. So from this we can say that this repertory is very useful, as a group of remedy will be very less, and very authentic work. So thank you so much.
Dr. Anju, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry.
You are again muted.
Now I'm audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rupal. Now I would request Dr. Suniti Chu for her valuable comments and suggestions.
Dr. Rupali, how many chapters have you prepared for this repertory, and how many rubrics are there in total?
Ma'am, total 24 chapters I have prepared, and also one more chapter that is on a remedy relationship chapter. Total number of rubric I have not count, sorry ma'am. And in this evaluation I have analyzed, verified total 70 rubrics.
Okay, and in your studies, how many, what type of cases were majorly there in your studies that you included?
And all kind of cases were there, skin complaint, eczema, osteoarthritis, then also paralysis, one case of cerebral shock, then hemangioma case, all that kind of acute cases were also there, headache or any kind of food poisoning, like that.
So it becomes very important to assess the efficacy of a repertory if we have all kinds of cases ranging from the physiological and the pathological conditions. So it is very important that you have to mention in your study that what all type of cases were included. Yes. And what kind of results were obtained. Like in the case of pathological cases, there are certain limitations.
Yes.
Which we cannot expect any positive results. Whereas in the cases of physiological cases and the cases of where the mental symptoms are prominent, so the efficacy and the results differ. So this is very important that these should be included in your study.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Rupam C. Dwivedi, a student from Dr. M.L. Dhable Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar, Maharashtra, India. The topic of presentation is compiling the rubrics representing the pathogenesis of dermatological inflammatory diseases from Boger Borneliosins characteristics repertory, BBCR, through clinical cases and observational retrospective case series study. Over to you, Dr. Rupam.
Yeah, good morning all. Should I share my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, regarding my topic, compiling the rubrics representing the pathogenesis of dermatological inflammatory diseases from BBCR through clinical cases. This was an observational retrospective case series study. So, skin diseases are the fourth most common in our society, and there are various types of dermatological diseases, inflammatory being one of them. And Dr. Boger worked on sphere of action and tissue affinity of drug and is known for his works on pathological journals. So in his book BBCR, he has given various pathological rubrics classified under diagnostic, morphological, and pathophysiological rubrics pertaining to skin. In chapters skin and exterior body and sensation complaints in general. The main aim of this study was to compile all these rubrics representing the pathogenesis of skin from BBCR. So for this study, it was retrospectively conducted on 30 pre-diagnosed dermatological inflammatory cases like dermatitis, psoriasis, urticaria, etc., which was collected by a simple random sampling method. All the symptoms pertaining to skin were classified under diagnostic, morphological, and pathophysiological types. A list of rubrics was made from BBCR's chapter Skin and Exterior Body and Sensation and Complaints in General, and was classified under diagnostic, morphological, and pathophysiological as well. So all these symptoms were repertorized by BBCR from both chapters using non-validated symptom checklist. It was observed that chapter Skin and Exterior Body consists maximum number of morphological rubrics such as blister, crust, eruptions, etc. And chapter Sensation and Complaints in general covered maximum number of pathological rubrics such as discharges, dropsy, suppuration, etc. Also, almost all types of symptoms were found as rubrics in these two chapters, but few symptoms like papule, watery discharge, brownish lesion, etc. were missing, diagnostic being the maximum of them. Dermatitis was the commonly diagnosed skin ailment, and natromure was commonly prescribed similimum during the whole study. From this study, I concluded that BBCR finds its utility in all such dermatological cases and can be effectively used for repertorization. And many diagnostic rubrics such as lichen planus, varicose eczema, etc., and common remedies like carcinosin and calcarea silicata were found missing and can be added, and hence the repertory needs update in terms of rubric and remedies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rupa, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have any questions for you from the chat box. I'll hand over to Dr. Suniti for a valuable comment.
Yeah, Dr. Rupam, did you consider the symptoms from other heads as well, or only from the skin symptoms were taken into consideration by prescription?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Only skin symptoms pertaining to the skin complaints were taken. Other was not taken, as my study was purely conducted on the dermatological disease of the pathogenesis, showing the dermatological inflammatory disease.
Okay, as you said, the natromure was the mostly indicated medicines. As we all know, the natromure has a very significant role on the skin conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
And but how many of the patients were given natromure in your study?
In about 17 patients were treated by natromure successfully.
And what were the major conditions that were treated in your whole
The
study?
major conditions that were treated was dermatitis, psoriasis, scabies, and boils, recurrent boils, etc.
And the follow-up period was?
Follow-up period was for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the follow-up period in such cases, because dermatitis, psoriasis, all are the chronic conditions,
Yeah.
it has to be, the patients need to be monitored for a long time. Follow-up should be long, so that the real assessment of the treatment could be gathered.
Moderator हाँ हाँ ना ना good morning.
Dr. Urvish Parmar, I would request you to kindly mute yourself. Thank you. So, ma'am, we can go ahead with the next presentation, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead.
So, thank you, Dr. Rupal. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, we have our next presentation from Dr. Shraddha Sridhar Joshi. Dr. Shraddha is a student of ML Dhavle Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar, and she will be taking up the topic of application of eliminating symptoms in creation of repertorial totality in chronic disease, an experimental uncontrolled study. So, over to you, Dr. Shraddha.
Hello, good morning, sir. I wanted to ask, I'm having some issues while displaying my camera. So can I present after the next presenter, please?
Okay, if that is problem, not an issue. We will take up the next
Okay.
presentation and
Thank
we'll
you so much,
request
sir.
you to join. We'll request you to join after that. Right. Thank you. So we have next in line. The next presentation is from Dr. Suryash Kumar D. Bosley. Dr. Suryash Kumar is again a student of Dr. ML Dhavle Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar. And Dr. Suryash should be taking up the topic of application of Bonn-Cousins method of repertorization in osteoarthritis knees, assessed by Womack scale, an uncontrolled experimental study. Dr. Suryash Kumar. Dr. Suryash, you can start.
Yes. Okay. Myself, Dr. Suresh Kumar Bosle from Dowda Hospital. My topic is application of Bonninghausen method of repertorization in osteoarthritis knees, assessed by Womack scale and uncontrolled experimental study. Osteoarthritis is the most common and disease in a man and other vertebrae. Life begins with the movement and in the wombs and continues throughout. So as a movement, which is the sign of life, is visible to the external eyes only with the help of joints. A joint is formed when two or more bones are held together. According to the law of biological development, function creates and develops the organ. For the function of the movement, joints were created and developed, and they should remain active throughout life. But there is a limit to everything, and aging process being the inevitable facts of living organism is known to affect each and every organ, and subsequently its function as a man assume an erect posture when he started walking straight and working. Load comes on mostly movable synovial joints of lower extremities, spine, rather than upper extremities. Weight-bearing joints are knee joints, lumbar, and cervical spines, which are involved in degenerative joint disorder. As age increases, continuous wear and tear produces degenerative changes in weight-bearing joints.
Dr. Suryash, can you zoom in your slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Zoom in your poster, please.
It's okay, ma'am?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Osteoarthritis is a chronic disorder characterized by softening and disintegrating of articular cartilage with reactive phenomena such as vascular congestion and osteoblastic activity in the subarticular bone, new growths of cartilage and bone at the joint margin, and capsular fibers. OA differs from simple wear and tear of joints in numerous ways. OA is characterized by focal loss of cartilage with evidence of accompanying periarticular bone responses. OA is probably not a single disease entity, but represents the fine end. Result of various patterns of joint disorder. It's presented as a joint pain and crepitus in elderly age group and radiologically characterized by decreased joint space, osteophytes, and variety of deformity as disease progresses. Homeopathy being a holistic science has a greater efficacy in the management of ONE. As I am particular in rural areas, I observed that many a times we could not get a complete picture of disease, or there were a presence of only common symptoms and modalities, or there was unavailability of the qualified mental symptoms in patient. In such a cases, Bonihassan principles and method of repertorization was found to be useful.
So I undertook this study in order to find the applicability of Boeing-Hassan method of repertorization in the management of the ONA using WOMAC scale. Methodology: a prospective study was conducted on sample size of 30 cases, selected using simple random sampling. The cases of new joints were diagnosed as per first, second, and third grade of Kilograms-Lorentz system of ONE joints. WOMAC scale was used in cases at baseline 3 months and 6 months and treatment to assess pain, stiffness, and functioning. Each case was worked by applying Boeing-Hassan method of repertorization on Zonio software. Individualized follow-up responses was graded on the intensity of each complaint in the gradation from 1 to 3 using WOMAC scale. The score at the baseline and after 6 months of treatment was calculated and generated data was used for the analysis. The improvement was then assessed by the using formula. The difference was calculated using Wilcoxon sign test and Friedman test. Result. In the study, it was found after applying Boeing-Hassan method of reparation and selecting similarly provided statistically significant results in pain, stiffness, and knee functioning levels. There was a statistically significant result in overall total score as P is less than 0.01. There was a steady improvement from baseline to 6 months. Boeing-Hassan method of representation can be applied to all cases of knee joints, and the symptom where there is a symptom is incomplete, but using the process of grand generalization, Boeing-Hassan method of presentation can be used where qualified mental symptoms are not available by making the use of the complete symptoms. Boeing-Hassan method of prevention treating all grades of ONE, both genders and all age groups. Sensations are useful for arriving for differentiating and closely coming remedies. Sensations like stiffness, pricking pain, dull pain was common. Prevalence in 40 to 60 year group is more common. Which is more common in females than in males. 200 potency is the most used potency in my study. WOMAC scale-based assessment of improvement has proved that the approach of Boeing-Hassan method of repertory is useful when management of ONE. And in this study, it was found that mineral group, especially Caligarp and Natramone, was mostly prescribed remedies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suyash Kumar. There are no questions in the chat box. I would request Dr. Suniti Chuk for her comments and valuable suggestions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Anju. Dr. Suyash, you have not mentioned the inclusion-exclusion criteria in your poster.
Okay, the inclusion criteria is that age group above 18 and according to diagnosis, X-ray diagnosis, first, second, and third grade. Osteophytes have joint space narrowing, which are diagnosed as per Kilograms-Lorentz system.
OA being the disease of later part of age. So till what age you have included the patients from the age of 18? You said, right? Till
18. Yes, ma'am. From 18 to 70 year I have included, but it was found that from 40 in my study from 40 to 60 year is most commonly affected ONE joint.
And the follow-up X-rays were also done to assess the effect of treatment.
Baseline X-ray was conducted, and after that no X-ray was done. Only baseline X-ray was done. Then
that means your study was most based on the symptomatic treatment.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So it is very important that since there is pathological involvement of joint is there in OA, so to assess the real effect of treatment, it is very important to include such investigation.
Yes, ma'am.
Such as basic investigation. X-ray is a very basic investigation for osteoarthritis. So
yes,
did you really find any change in the X-ray picture or not? It is very important.
Yes, I will note it.
So the such study should be taken up, and it was an uncontrolled trial, right?
Yes, experimental prospective study.
Yeah. Yes. So the control study, the placebo as one arm, and proper investigations for the follow-up of the cases are very important to assess the efficacy in such cases. So you must take up the study in these settings.
Yes, ma'am. I will improve it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Suniti. Next, we have Dr. Shraddha Sridhar Joshi. She is a student from Dr. M.L. Dhavle Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar, Maharashtra, India. Her topic of presentation is application of eliminating symptoms in creation of repertorial totality in chronic diseases, experimental uncontrolled study. Over to Dr. Shraddha. Yeah, please start. Yeah.
Good morning, all. Myself, Dr. Shraddha Joshi from Dr. M.L. Dhavle Institute, Palghar, India. My today's topic for the presentation is application of eliminating symptoms in creation of repertorial totality in chronic cases and uncontrolled study. The term basically eliminating symptom is coined by Dr. Margaret Tyler. Eliminating symptoms are basically those symptoms which are that remove all the medicines which are not needed for the patient. This eliminating symptom need not be only one. It can be a set of two or three or more symptoms also. Selection of eliminating symptom is an important task because we are prescribing on the basis of those important and characteristic symptoms only. During repertorization, the remedies
Can you
that are
please zoom in your screen?
sorry, ma'am.
Can you please zoom in your poster?
Zoom in, okay.
Yeah, it's better now.
Zoom.
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay,
Okay now.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So basically, these are the symptoms which are important for the patient. These are the most characteristic symptoms of the patient. And during repertorization, the remedies that are covered by eliminating symptoms are first taken into account, recorded, and those medicines those medicines then they are matched with eliminating symptoms. Eliminating symptoms should preferably a general symptom of the patient, and it is the most characteristic symptom of the patient. And then we can go from for aims and objectives and methodology of my study. In this case, we have to understand the usefulness of eliminating symptoms by evaluating the results of cases which are solved by eliminating method. A prospective study is conducted in 40 cases by an uncontrolled method. The original totality of the case is formed as per the respective approach of the case, be it Kent, Bonnickerson, or Boger, or etc. And also a second totality is formed, which that is according to the eliminating method. Remedies and results of both the totalities are compared, and utility of eliminating method is seen. It was observed that remedy on the given on the basis of or coming up with the basis of coming up with the basis of original totality were matching with the eliminating totality in majority of the cases. So after studying the results of 40 cases, it was found that in 33 cases eliminating symptoms were useful, and in 7 cases eliminating symptoms were not useful. It was total in my study out of 579 symptoms, 166 symptoms were used as eliminating symptoms. Only it was found that only mental general symptoms were used as eliminating symptoms. In 11 cases, eliminating symptoms were used as eliminating symptoms, and in 29 cases, both, that is combination of mental general and physical general was used. It was also found that in mental general symptoms, qualified mental symptoms were majority of the cases qualified mental symptoms were useful in mental general symptoms, followed by disposition and state. And also it was found that combination of both the symptoms, that is be it qualified mental plus disposition or qualified mental symptoms or state, they were also useful. And in physical general symptoms, it was observed that craving aversions were useful in majority of the cases. So after my study, I concluded that, and it was also necessary that patient should be treated as a whole while picking out the most characteristic symptom of the patient. So eliminating symptoms were useful in majority of cases, and only in few cases they were not useful. And so I can conclude that eliminating symptom or eliminating method was useful, and combination of mental and physical general symptoms. That is, combination of both the symptoms were useful in majority of cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shraddha. We have no questions in the chat box. So I would request Dr. Suniti Chuk for her suggestions and comments. Ma'am, please.
Yeah, Dr. Shraddha, it's a good
Yes,
study,
ma'am.
but it is very important that choosing the eliminating system is a very important task. Whenever, because in that case we are the most characteristic symptoms have to be taken into consideration. So, and as you have concluded that definitely mental and physical symptoms in combination are more useful. So I would suggest that maybe you can take up the study in a controlled trial format and in a larger setup to further validate your findings.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you, Dr. Shraddha. Thank you, ma'am. So we are just about to conclude with this session. All 7 presenters have presented their papers. Before we conclude, I would request Dr. Suniti Chuk ma'am to kindly give a synopsis view of the entire session, just a brief summary view.
Thank you, Dr. Vipin. Overall, it was a very nice session, and all of our presenters had presented their studies related to various Bonning-Hussons, Boger Bonning-Hussons, net repertory, and very nice work has been done. However, as I suggested during the individual sessions, they may take up these studies in the different setups and with control trials, and maybe in a larger setup, larger settings. So these they must take up their work further so that they can further authenticate their results of the studies. Thank you, and congratulations to all the presenters for their nice poster presentations. And I would like to thank team LMHI for giving this opportunity for chairing this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time, for all the valuable suggestions. And in fact, ma'am, it's a matter of pride that the chairperson, the moderators, and the coordinators are all alumni of Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Delhi.
Right.
So it's just a matter of coincidence, but we are all alumni of the same college.
Proud to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So thanks, presenters, for giving us a very valuable insights of kind of integrating the traditional knowledge with the scientific methodologies of research methodology. Thanks, everyone. And a special thanks to the coordinators, Dr. Swati Singh and Dr. Radhika Kataria, who have been working throughout the sessions, not only for today, but in the previous few days also, to make sure that this session is a great success. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, the coordinators. Thank you, everyone. And a big thanks to the presenters. So with that, we will conclude with this 7th scientific session of poster presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.